This is the Dad I Want to Hear Your Story Keepsake Journal, and it's a father's guided journal to share his life and his love. This is a really nice memory book that I just am so impressed with. I think it's a nice way for, father to share his life story with his family and pass it down as memories. So many times when our loved ones are gone, we always say, I wish I would have asked him this. I wish I would have asked them that, and this is a way to kind of jot down things that you would have never even thought to ask. So it starts out with, it's your birthday, and it talks about what is your birthday? What was your full name at birth? Were you named after a relative or someone else of significance? And it's just these types of things. What was your weight and length and weight at birth? Were you born in a hospital? These are some of the basic things that you get, that you see in a baby book. And then it goes on and asks about what happened the year you were born, and then you can jot down some key things. What were the prices of the following items? A loaf of bread, gallon of milk, cup of coffee, movie ticket. Those are some nice things that it's interesting to kind of tell and pass down to future generations. Just how things have changed. The price of basic items have changed over the years. And then there's some other things like, what was your favorite flavor of ice cream? How do you like your eggs cooked? Do you have any allergies? What was your biggest fear? What would you order as your last meal? It just goes through and asks just different things. Then it goes to the teenage years. Knowing all you know now, what advice would you give your teenage self? What might you have done differently if in school if you knew then what you know now? So that's kind of interesting to see what their perspective would be on that. Write about a teacher, coach, or other mentor who had significant impact on you when you were growing up. Just going through, where was your mother born? Where did she grow up? What 3 words would you use to describe her? So these are really interesting. It's just, like I said, it just goes through and asks different things about the person. You can share it with their family, for future generations. And it just gives you insight to the father or dad in your life that you wouldn't. It gives you some things that you wouldn't even think to ask. Becoming a dad, how old were you when you first wanted to become a father? What were your children's lengths and weights? It just goes through and just asks just different things. So, this is nice. Based on all you have learned and experienced, what advice would you give your children? So then it goes into spirituality and religion. So love and romance. How did you meet our mom? What was your wedding like? What was your first impression of her? That would be kind of fun to find out. So like I said, it's just a really nice way to jot down memories and get really deep insights into the dad and father in your life, and just have it as a memory keepsake for future generations. I think this is just a really great Father's Day gift, birthday gift, just a nice sentimental gift that I think would be a blessing to any family.